How's it going, everyone? Mad Spartan here, and today I'm bringing you to war number 4 after that horrible war that I had. But I don't even know the name of the alliance that we're up against, to be honest with you. The defense was pretty lacking, I'm not going to lie. Wasn't too bad on me, but we are lower now that we've been losing, so can't really expect too much. I am versing the Vision Arcus, and unfortunately I am versing the Rooted Super Skull, which I was kind of annoyed about. Wiccan has not been treating me very well during the season. I mean, it's obviously partially my fault because I'm the one using them, but it was awful. Now, first up, we do have an America Chavez, which you guys are going to see the worst possible Chavez AI you can have. If any of you have had a problem with Chavez about her throwing random heavies, this is the video to show anyone who doesn't believe you. This was the worst thing ever. She immediately throws heavies. Now, she's going to be throwing SP1s here, which is a big thing because obviously you don't want the SP2. If I am using Titania against her, I do make sure I always have Haymaker ready if it looks like the fight is going in the direction of her not throwing her SP2 or her not throwing her SP1. So I'm going to be baiting this SP1 here. Kind of just hoping that she throws it. I know a lot of times if you hit them and then kind of back out immediately, they'll retaliate with the super to try to catch you. So I did use my Haymaker there to kind of hit her once and then dash back, and I end up doing it again to make sure that she throws it. She doesn't. She waits for my negative edge to go, waits for her like negative edge dimension to go away. And then she throws another heavy to make sure it goes. I thought I had control of the fight again. I don't. Now, I'm not going to be using Haymaker here because it does look like the fight is heading in the direction of her not throwing that SP2. She does end up throwing another heavy, which I do have to throw lights to gain distance to make sure I have I don't have to use my Haymaker. She throws another heavy to gain her dark dimension. I was so upset, but at the same time I was like, all right, no problem. We are holding this Haymaker. I'm not using it for anything. She does, as soon as she throws it, I do use the heavy to charge it up. She does heal from it, but it's not that big of a deal. Now we have regained control. She does have reverberation, so I'm going to be trying to back up and kind of just wait it out, you know, hitting her when I need to. She definitely does not let me have any type of rest with these heavies. She throws another one, so now she has 2 dimensions, which is a pretty big power gain on that SP1. She does lose the reverberation, though, so now we're fine. She only has 1 negative edge. Not the end of the world. I do want to commit to the SP3 here, but I didn't know at the time, and then I ended up just going for it because in my head I'm like, she has to die. She's a Mystic, Titania, 13% health. Pretty much just do a 5-hit combo just like that. She's done. Next up, we do have a Hit Monkey, which wasn't bad, especially when you're using Storm X. I mean, this girl is just ripping through globals. Obviously, especially skills, it's just out of control how much damage she does. Fighting him just like anyone else. I am going to be parrying more here because I kind of just... There's no reason to dash back and, you know, hit the block, you know, especially with someone like Hitmonkey where I can just kind of build them freely from blocking. And I can parry his SP1 pretty easily, which I will be doing the whole fight to gain as many prowesses as possible. And then I'm going to be throwing an SP2 here pretty much to end the fight. We do parry the SP1 again, only 99 damage, which is really good because she doesn't really have high block efficiency. But she is a very stocky 7-star. So just like that, we just mow him down like it's nothing. Next up, we do have an Ebony Maw here, which obviously I'm going to use Titania for. She is immune to the placebo buff, so there is no power gain from Maw. I do immediately go right in because I don't really have to heal all the way up. I'm at 92% health. Titania pretty much controls the fight like it's nothing. I do drop the combo on purpose to be able to retaliate with a heavy. You know, if he does end up hitting me, I do have Haymaker to bail me out. And if he does end up backing out, which they do sometimes, I do have enough time in the Haymaker to recover from that as well. So it's literally like it's a perfect trade-off. There's no problems here. I do end up throwing the heavy a little late here because I guess I just didn't realize how fast I was getting the heavy off and the parry in time, but not the end of the world. I wasn't really feeling the distance after his SP1. Usually, if any of you have seen my previous videos on my other seasons especially, when he throws an SP1, I'm usually in like perfect distance of hitting him with a heavy. But to be honest, I just wasn't feeling it. Like in my head, I was just like, I'm not close enough to this guy. And then I was doing it again, and I'm just like, I'm gonna get hit by the last hit of this. And like, I just wasn't trusting myself, so I just played it safe. only hit him with the heavy when I had Haymaker and when I had a Relic, and just like that, even with playing it a lot slower and less aggressive, we still had full control of the fight. Next up, just like last war, or maybe 2 wars ago, we did have Hulkling on EMP, which, if any of you know, it's literally just a simple aggressive Titania is the answer to this. Not pretty much anything to it. I did miss the parry in the beginning of the game, which kind of sucked, but we're able to take off a nice chunk of 16% of his health. He's pretty much just melting at this point. We definitely want him to only throw the SP2 here. He doesn't really play ball as much. He kind of just lets himself get to the 5, so there's going to be a lot of instances where we throw the 5-hit combo and he still just doesn't throw anything. And then he's going to gain that indestructible pretty much the whole fight. So we're pretty much only doing damage for 4 hits. Pretty much for the rest of the fight. Hoping that he doesn't throw the SP1. I'm never going to be holding block against Hulkling because I just don't want to deal with it. And I do throw the heavy here to stagger, but then I forgot that as soon as you touch him, he gains the regen. So it's like I'm immediately losing that stagger, so it's not even like I can use it for something actually like useful. He does end up hitting my block to gain the unblockable, which isn't the end of the world. I do immediately get Haymaker back, so I'm able to keep him in the corner. And as long as I keep him in the corner, it should all be fine. I am going for the kill here. He's at 51% health, but he is a 6-star ascended. And as long as I kind of keep up the aggression here, throw him with a nice heavy to gain 41 Furies, 17,000 crit on top of a 7,000 burst damage, full control of the fight. Just like that, it's over. And then we had this fight, which took a lot of discussion. It took like a day and a half of discussion about who was taking it. I don't like using Wiccan against Super Skrull because he is Incinerate immune, so you do lose a big chunk of Wiccan's damage. So I was like, I just don't want to do it. And then it was like, well, you kind of have to do it. And I was like, I guess I'll fucking do it. And that's exactly what happened. I ended up taking it. It was either that or the Gore, and I kind of wanted to take the Super Skrull because this Super Skrull wasn't Ascended, which you guys are going to find out. If he was Ascended, it probably would have been a different fight, to be honest with you. I am parrying a lot to gain the prowesses, which ends up screwing me here. I do end up I actually get rooted a few times. I throw the SP1 here to kind of save myself. Now that I think about it, I could have just kind of relaxed. I only had a few more seconds left on the rooted itself. Now, the big thing is I'm going to be parrying this SP1 every time and making sure that I have, and as you can see, I did get faltered here, which I was very upset about, but I am making sure that I have the shield spell up in case that SP2 comes, and that I have a neutralize up to stop buffs from coming in, which, Super Skrull does have a lot of resistance, but his resistance definitely comes from the 5 armors that he gets. And I kind of got a little stingy here. I wanted to hold the block, like, literally for 1 more second to gain the shield spell, which I didn't end up getting. I do end up getting the shield spell here, which I was very happy about. Now we can kill the SP2. Now, the thing with Super Skrull is it does have basically, like, reduced power gain when they're above 2 bars. But because Super Skrull does gain some type of power gain effect, it'll actually just power gain as normal. And I realized with the SP1 animation, you actually do have enough time to gain a full shield spell, which is definitely important to have. And while all this is happening, I do have to maintain my prowesses from the global itself, which is there's just a lot. I think the big thing is, and I was saying to my Alliance members about it, I don't think the meta itself is hard. I just feel like the meta is attached to characters where you have to watch a lot on their kit. Like, for example, like Super Skrull and like Serpent and them, like, the meta itself isn't difficult. It's basically just a timer on Indestructible. There's not really much else to it. And also when you dex, you gain Indestructible. But there is a lot of easy ways to get rid of it, hitting to the block and parrying. So, I mean, they did offer you, like, decent ways to get rid of it. But I think on top of, it's just adding a whole nother dimension to these fights. It's slapped onto characters that you need to. I end up getting a little aggressive here and end up just throwing into his falter. I got a little nervous here. I do have to throw the SP3 to get myself out, hoping that it kills. But as I was saying before, I do think it was just put onto characters where there's a lot to watch already on them. So on top of everything you have to watch, you do end up having to watch on top of that a global with an Indestructible. It's not even something you can fight through. So I think that's a big part of it. The meta itself is very, like, cut and dry, very simple. It's just the characters that they put onto it, which I guess you could argue, yeah, that's what makes the meta hard. But I think it wouldn't be so hard if it was on, like, normal characters. You know, with Serpent, you have to watch like 6 different things. With Super Skull, you have to watch a bunch of stuff depending on the node. Vision Arcus, you have to watch a lot of stuff. You know, if they're on just like regular characters, it's not really a problem having a, you know, an indestructible every 5 seconds and you giving them indestructible. So, you know, I do think it's kind of up for interpretation there. And next up, we do have a Vision Arcus, which I don't know what happened here. He's not awake, so you can parry him freely, so we didn't need the white mag. He does immediately throw his SP1, so I am able to parry it, so I am able to keep my my spells going, and also keep my my prowess is up, so he doesn't gain indestructibles. He is pretty much going to be not throwing this SP1 here. I'm basically parrying and just kind of dashing back. I don't want to dash back too much because I don't want to give him too much distance. And just like that, I'm in the corner, and I was very upset because I lost all of my spells. I did lose my shield spell, so I wasn't able to block the SP2. And just like that, we are in the corner, like literally back against the wall. I'm trying to regain control here. I do put the neutralize on, hoping that he throws the SP1. He does throw the SP1. I am able to get my shield spell in case another SP2 comes. I throw the heavy to get rid of the power gain that he currently has. And just like that, we have now regained control, which a weird interaction happened. I don't know if that's just something that he has, but there was like a few occasions where he would gain an indestructible. He would gain a power gain while he had the neutralize on. I wasn't sure what happened with that, and I did end up using the regen gray boost. I didn't use the indestructible, which I was very upset about, but to be honest with you, I realized that even if I had the indestructible, I would have cashed it in when I got hit with the SP2. I mean, maybe the SP3 wouldn't have killed me then, but, you know, there's no way of knowing that, and it's too late to find out. And we do end up getting killed, which I was very upset about, but it was just a mix of stuff. It was, he waited for all my spells to go, then threw the SP2. He wasn't throwing the SP1 a lot. It wasn't cooperating with me. It just overall just was a very stubborn AI, which obviously isn't an excuse. It just kind of sucked that it happened that way. And I'm really confused as to how he's gaining power gain when he has a neutralize on him. You know, I feel like sometimes it stops it, sometimes it doesn't. But I'm not sure. You know, maybe it's a bug, or maybe I'm just misreading some of these guys' kits. And the second fight is perfect, actually. He's throwing this SP1 pretty freely. I guess it's because he knows he already got a death off me, so he doesn't, have to do much else. So he does immediately throw that SP1. You know, I do have pretty much just a 5-hit combo here. He melts. Game over. That's the end of my war. Now, it's definitely a much better war than last war, but still a lot of improvement. I was very upset about that AI. I just felt like he just wasn't cooperating with me at all. I guess maybe if I would have dexed more instead of just parrying and backing up, I was just hoping he would wake up with that special. I didn't want to back up and give him too much space to kind of close it as fast. And it ended up screwing me anyway. Luckily, there was no Killmonger on Conflictor. I don't even know if I want to take that fight anymore. But we don't have it anymore, so that's good. And I think we end up winning this war, which was pretty big for us. But I'm not entirely sure. I think at the moment that I'm voiceovering it, we are winning by a huge amount. So as long as nothing crazy happens, we should win this. I mean, we're getting so low to the point where like we should be beating these alliances, but that's a whole nother thing. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. You know, it's a nice breeze from last videos. And those of you that watched my previous video and weren't completely discouraged about watching my videos, I definitely thank you guys so much. Or those of you that liked me even more because you saw that I post my crappy wars as well as my good wars. I appreciate you guys just as much. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you all in the next one.